Good afternoon, happy Sunday, and this is the very first episode of Kenzie's Review. That's right, Kenzie's Review. And honestly, I started this because I just got so tired of the biased opinions on TV, um, dogging out TV shows, dogging out music, dogging out sports teams. So, what I'm gonna do is here, I'm gonna celebrate all the TV shows that just blew me away from the past week. Music that's just amazing. Uh, Sports teams that deserve to be recognized. I'm gonna try to keep my bias out. And just give you a great positive video because that's what we need in this world, in a world full of negativity. So what we're gonna do here is start with this very first video. Since there are no sports going on, I know, boring, but there have been some great TV shows that I would recommend you watching that are absolutely amazing. And how we're gonna do this is we're gonna make power rankings. The top 5 shows of the week are gonna earn those rankings. And then there's gonna be 2 honorable mention shows that just didn't quite make the list for me, but they're still really good, so I'm gonna mention them and could make the next week. These power rankings of TV shows will be updated every single week. So one show may not be in there the next week. You know, it all depends on when they're done for the season, and obviously they're not going to be in the ranking the next week either. So each week they will change. So we're going to start here. Last week was actually a really good week of TV shows, like really good. And we're going to actually start off with honorable mentions. So the first honorable mention, which actually was this close to making the top 5, it's a new Hulu show on FX on Hulu called Dave. It's starring Little Dicky, and it is absolutely hilarious. Right now, they're about 5 episodes in. You can binge them real quick. It's 30 minutes tops. If you need something to laugh, it's kind of like, honestly, the white version of Atlanta. I mean, and anyone knows of the show Atlanta, Donald Glover actually does an amazing job on it. But it's not just like funny comedy. Like, there's great storyline, and I think Little Dicky does a really good job at putting together a well put together show, and really writes it so that we enjoy that 30 minutes. But like I said, it's starring Little Dicky. It's basically about how he came up in the game. And you know, he's always cracking jokes about how small his dick is and stuff. But Little Dicky, basically, he moves to LA. He moves to LA with his girlfriend, excuse me. And him and her, you know, go through ups and downs in their relationship. And just, you know, they're learning each other. They're learning about love. They're trying new things. And it's absolutely funny, but it's absolutely amazing. So I recommend it. It's called Dave on Hulu. You can also watch it on FX as well. Another honorable mention, which I'm kind of disappointed. It's one of my favorite shows. I was going to put it on the list, but just other shows were better this past week. It's the masterpiece of Grey's Anatomy. And I actually thought this episode was really, really well. And just to break it down, and just to clarify, these reviews are spoiler free. So in case if you do watch the show, you can watch this episode without any huge spoilers. But basically, this episode was about a ceremony honored for Dr. Richard Webber. He's going off and accepting this award. However, something just isn't seem right about him. And, you know, the older he gets, we don't know if it's Alzheimer's, we don't know what it is, but something's just not right. And, you know, Maggie's there. Everyone else comes over, and it's just an amazing, you know, it's just a celebration time, but it's held at a big conference. Maggie meets up with someone formerly from her college. Excuse me, not her college. I'm sorry. One of her residents back before she came to Grace Sloan. So that's a good catch up, and I love seeing that from Maggie's past because I don't feel like they really dug into Maggie's past a lot. So that was really good. Owen's girlfriend, I can't think of her name. I don't know why I always forget it. But if you watch Grey's Anatomy, you know who I'm talking about. Owen's girl, the one in the army. Basically, She is one of the other doctors that come on this conference trip, and her storyline's a little fishy. That's the only reason why I kind of dropped this show a little bit out of the top 5 and put it in honorable mention, because they didn't really clear why she was actually there other than supporting Richard Webber, and she was also trying to balance things in her life with finding out, Amelia's baby, and she was finding out that it wasn't Owen's, but at the same time it could have been. She also hooked up with her little fling, so she cheated on Owen, so she has a lot going on, and I think that, that just complicated things for me in the episode, because Teddy, that's her name, duh. Basically, Teddy just, I don't know, I wasn't feeling her this episode. I feel like they did too much of her and less of Maggie, and I wanted to see more of Maggie in her past, because they kind of just threw her in with her former resident, and we didn't know nothing about them, so I would have loved to see them. I will say, though, the ending of Grey's Anatomy this episode, the last 10 minutes is must-watch TV. You gotta watch it. Trust me. So those are my 2 honorable mentions. You have Dave on Hulu, and then you have Grey's Anatomy for this past week. And now for the list. Let's go. At number 5, we got the Grey's Anatomy spinoff, Station 19. Now let me tell you how impressed I am about Station 19. Station 19 has grown so much of a show, and I'm so impressed with Shonda Rhimes in the writing and the acting and the development of each character. Basically, this episode, Tracy Thomas, who's a phenomenal actor, you may know her from Rent, she's in 911. She comes in and she plays a therapist, and she's basically helping them through the deaths of losing Vasquez, which was the firefighter from last episode that you watched, and you really get to learn about what's really on each of these firefighters' mind and what troubles them, especially Andy. And those of you who are caught up from 3 weeks ago, we lost Ryan, who was a devastating loss in Grey's Anatomy, and Andy that really tore her apart, and her dad just found out, only got a few months to live, so to really open up to a therapist and her relationship with Sullivan was great. You learned about Vic's past, which was absolutely amazing. Vic's personally one of my favorite characters, so that was great. Miller has a lot on his mind, and I think, that was great to learn about. Travis was the breakthrough, and that's what probably pushed me to put this list on the list. I put the show on the list because Travis's storyline this episode was absolutely amazing. He did a great job. He did a phenomenal job, and I can't wait to see next week. So that's Station 19 at number 5. Now number 4, we got the family drama This Is Us. This Is Us fans, don't hate me on this. I wanted to put it higher, but when I tell you the rest of the shows in the top 3, you might understand a little bit why it's a little bit shocking. So number 4 with This Is Us. This Is Us was just a phenomenal episode. This was the season finale, so apparently this show won't be on the list until the fall, but it ended on a great note, and Kevin and Randall really just blew me away this episode. We finally got answers to why they were beefing. We got more insight on the mom and her condition. Katie and Toby, this episode about Katie and Toby, how they're for baby Jack's birthday party and their little tradition that was beautiful. We got to see the future. I will say, when you watch it, pay attention to detail, because there is a lot of going from the future to the present in this episode, as well to the past. The past is easy to determine because Jack's always there, and Jack's not alive in the present and the future. But the future can get a little confusing, but I promise you it clears up in the end. You just have to pay attention. But it's a great episode, and I think the breakthrough was Randall and Kevin. Their storyline was phenomenal. At number 3, we got the crazy drama of Empire. Now, Empire, which is personally one of my favorites, but I'm going to leave my bias out. This episode is all about the big cliffhanger at the end of this last season of what happened that day of Cookie's car blowing up, Lucius getting shot, Andre is just blowing me out this season. They're really touching on mental illness, and I applaud Lee Daniels for taking the show and really, uh, really touching on that, because mental illness, especially in the African American community, is big because we don't have a lot of resources. So I feel like, we finally acknowledge that, and Andre's doing a great job as he's still seeing Kingsley, him and his relationship with Terry, that's going back and forth, and, Terry, you could tell she really loves him, but you could tell there's still something there, like, she kind of feels a little resentment towards, not resentment, but, like, and I don't want to say scared either, but, like, kind of like, she doesn't know what to do right now, so watch that part. There's little side characters with Becky and a couple of the new singers, Treasure, Mario. Mario and Andre have a good scene together, so that was good. But I really think Andre's carrying this episode, and Andre just does a phenomenal job. Excuse me, my bad. Andre and Cookie carry this episode because we actually find out something about Cookie and her sister, and it's actually a huge spoiler alert and a huge plot twist, so I'm not going to say it, but just know, Empire fans, you're not going to be disappointed. It's great writing, it's great acting, and Empire's going out with a bang each and every episode, and I'm impressed. At number 2, we have A Million Little Things. Let me tell you, A Million Little Things is one of the most underrated shows on TV. It's kind of like This Is Us, but not really. I think it might be a little underrated because it comes on at the 10 o'clock hour on a Thursday, and a lot of people may not be up at that time. It does come on late, but you can always binge all the episodes on Hulu or on the ABC app. Or if you have a Fire Stick, but I shouldn't be saying that. So keep it legal. But A Million Little Things, basically, they're kind of doing away with the main storyline of John dying in the beginning of season 1. So they're kind of letting him rest in peace. But this episode was all about how the baby's finally born. And for those of you who don't know, Rome and his wife have had a surrogate, and she's basically, her water finally broke. And as you know, Rome's wife has trouble getting pregnant, so this was the only option. And it ended last week's episode with the new girl, her water broke, so that's a big storyline. Another plot twist happens there at the end. I'm not gonna spoil it, but I do recommend it, and I do recommend you watch that show. Another big storyline is Gary and Maggie. Gary and Maggie just a lot of drama happened this season, and me personally, I'm a big Gary and Maggie fan, but they've gone in 2 separate directions, as you see through these episodes building, that I don't think, I think they're trying something new with these characters, and I think Gary and Maggie, they had a phenomenal conversation in the hospital while waiting for the baby that I think is a really crucial part of the episode, as Maggie's getting ready to go off to Boston to accept a new therapist job, and Gary has a new girlfriend as well, so that's a good scene to watch as well. Delilah and Sophie, their character, their dynamic mother and daughter, they're phenomenal. It was just, Sophie and her brother finally met their mom, Delilah's new boyfriend, and those of you who know the situation between Eddie, Delilah, Sophie, that's a crazy situation. Again, I'm not going to spoil it, but it's crazy. Then you have Eddie and Catherine, who plays part in that Delilah situation, but he finally realized something in his past that happened. It gets to him. He has a scene where he almost relapsed, and as he's walking up the bar, something big happens. That's where the episode ends. We gotta wait till the fall. That was the season finale. But that show just absolutely blew me away. And if you watch it, you'll understand why I'm putting it on number 2 on my list. And number 1, which was the best show of last week, and I have to give props, it is The Good Doctor, which comes on Monday, 10 p.m. Now, those of you that don't watch The Good Doctor, it's about Dr. Sean Murphy, who's a resident at the hospital, and he has autism. And basically, you know, he goes through the ups and downs, he goes through the struggles, he goes through the triumphs, and you know, he always prevails. And this episode was the first part of a two-part finale. Next Monday, the March 30th is the finale, and basically a big earthquake comes while Mendez, Glassman, and Leah are all trapped under with a bunch of other patients and doctors who are attending this conference. As you know from the trailer, you can easily see Leah makes it out fine, but by the end of the episode, Sean, Lim, and Mendez are still in the building. Well, Mendez passes out outside after he was saved, so his health is up in the air. But they're teasing that something big is going to happen, and the reason why I'm putting this on number one is because this is the first real big thing in The Good Doctor. And anyone that watches medical dramas, you know this is huge. Like, this is huge. And this is the first real big event we had. We had a quarantine episode in season 2, I believe. Yeah, season 2. No, the end of season 1. But I just feel like, you know, nothing really traumatic happened in this. But this one right here is going to be something big, because not only the earthquake episode, it sounds like we're losing somebody. So we'll find out what character we're losing. And I'm going to do a spoiler episode just because it's the number. What I'm going to say, if a show is really good on any of this list, and I feel like it deserves a little more time, I'm going to purposely give it a separate video and talk about it, you know, especially if it's a season finale. So I think I might do a Good Doctor episode just for us Good Doctor fans. But just to keep it spoiler free here, something big is going to happen in this finale tomorrow. Morgan's situation with her hand, having arthritis, she actually got put in a position where she kind of took over the ER floor, and she wrapped up her glove, and she basically did surgery after having surgery herself on her hand. So we'll see how that plays out as well. And then the Mendez and Claire romance, like, will they, won't they? Plus you have the Sean and Leah situation, so that's going to be amazing. I'll keep you posted on the videos as well. But those are my 5 shows of the week. Comment, subscribe, like, dislike, whatever you want. Fill me in. If you feel like there's a show that needs to be mentioned that I'm not watching, I will gladly give it a chance, and I will gladly talk about it on the episode. We're also going to do another video probably later today about music. A lot of good music came out, so I'm gonna tell you exactly how, you know, what you should listen to, what I wasn't feeling, what I am feeling. Again, try to keep it non-biased. So it means, when I say non-biased, I don't mean, you know, bashing anything, because that's not why I'm making the video. I'm making the video to get props to what I feel like deserves to get props to. But again, I will talk about things that maybe I wasn't feeling at the end of the day. If, you know, agree with me, disagree with me, do whatever you want. And until then, Kenzie out. Hope you like the review. Stay safe, everyone. Wash your damn hands. And everything's gonna be all fucking right. Talk to you later.